Have you ever wondered how to pull yourself out of a financial rut or how to transform yourself when it comes to wealth? Is there a secret you don't know? How do you do it? Well, Chris and Marlow Felton know firsthand how to do just that, and they want you to know too. For the past 12 years, they've been on their own personal development journey. Along the way, they have become Amazon #1 best-selling authors, successful entrepreneurs, and respected in-demand speakers in the industry. Together, they have almost 30 years combined experience in the financial services industry and a legacy of wealthy clients along the way. Whether business training for entrepreneurs or improving your relationship with money or even others, it's time to get out of your rut. Struggling with money and sort of hitting a financial rock bottom is something that both of you had to live through firsthand. What happened in your life?
Well, I think it was right after we got married. We discovered that we were both had a lot of financial stress that we weren't really talking about with each other. It all really kind of came to a head when we had a very large expense that came up, and I was so frustrated, and then I got really mad at Chris because the frustration had gone on for so long. The financial stress was like a pressure cooker, and I just exploded at him one night and threw my purse at him. It was scary. I started rattling off all the things that I was mad about and all the things that I was frustrated with him about. And he turned and said to me, "Well, then why are you married to me?" And it was something that I was so caught up in being frustrated and angry at him that I hadn't taken a step back to think about, oh, okay, yeah, that's right. I chose to marry Chris, and so what are the things that I'm grateful for in him, and do I want to continue this journey on moving forward towards a better life? So that's really the short story of the night that changed everything, when he and I really decided that we were done struggling financially and we wanted to turn a new page together, and we had to really get on the same page and just make a decision that things were going to be different for us.
So what was your first step?
Well, the first step was picking my purse up off the floor.
And all the broken dishes.
No, he always throws in the broken dishes.
No joke.
More than a purse.
No, okay, so maybe
It
was more than a purse.
I mean, it was just, we are where we are, and quit fighting against where we are. I mean, that's what people do. They look at their lives and they hate it, and it just keeps repeating over and over and over again. And it was just like, hey, this is where we are. So we don't need to love it, we don't need to hate it, but we need to accept it, and we need to get more focused on what we want versus focusing on what we don't want. And that was a big shift.
Yeah, it was really taking a hard look at where we were, which many people are too afraid to look at. And so I built a spreadsheet, and we sat down and looked at the spreadsheet, and we said, okay, here's where we are.
Ugh.
I know. And then here's where we want to be.
So what are some of the common threads? Because your story isn't unique, that there are other people out there that are maybe going through similar things, maybe not identical, but what are some of the common threads that you see?
Delusion.
Yes.
How so?
Well, one of my favorite quotes is, delusion and optimism sleep in the same bed together. People don't want to look at reality. They don't want to define it because they kind of wrap their personal story up in that reality, and they don't want to be wrong. They don't want to feel like they screwed up. They don't want to face reality. So it's easier to watch a Bronco game. It's easier to go to the bar. It's easier to play video games than to they just kind of hope it goes away, and it's never going to go away. And I'm a recovering delusionist, right? Because that was my form of, I don't want to look at it, I'll just keep working harder. I got wrapped up in working more versus really understanding where I was. And if you're going from here to Vail, right, and you're using your GPS system or your Google Maps, you know your A and you know your B. Well, most people have no clue where they are and they don't know where they want to go, so they just spin around in circles, and that's what I've been doing for, decades around my finances.
Right. And we see a lot of our clients in the financial services business that we have. We see a lot of clients that are, delusional in thinking that little things don't matter. They don't add up the, meals they eat out, all the little $20 here, and they believe that those little things don't matter when they do. They absolutely do, because your results are really just a result of little things done that add up over time. So for us to make a change, we had to make those little things add up with intention. So we had to put some intention behind that and take away the $20 here and the $20 there and look at money completely different.
Yeah, I think going from delusion to being intentional, there is a first step that has to be taken. Like you're talking about driving to Vail. Here's A, here's B, but what happens in between? So where do people start? How do you get off the delusional train and start taking that first step?
Well, small steps. And so if you're trying to get to where we wanted to go to even be at like ground zero because of our debt and our negative cash flow. And I mean, if you look, if you're standing at base camp looking up at Mount Everest, that's overwhelming, right? So we had to go, okay, well, that's ultimately where we want to get. We want to get to the top, but we got to get, right, the journey of 1,000 miles, right, begins with the first step. So we got really good at just going, okay, that's where we want to go. We need to look at that, but what do we want, and then what's the next thing? So what do we want, and what's the next thing? Versus a lot of people are like, well, I don't want that, and I don't know really where I'm going, so I don't know the next step, and then they just get overwhelmed. So small steps, people try to make massive, overwhelming change, and they get frustrated, and it just doesn't happen. And so, the coach we worked with said, hey, be kind to yourself, and just, make sure that this week is awesome, and this day is awesome. And so it was just that, what she's calling a compounding effect of lots of great days and lots of great weeks, and being focused on what's in front of us that made all the difference in the world.
So what solution would you offer people out there then? Where do they start?
Well, and really it's celebrating and recognizing any step in the right direction, because a lot of people get frustrated early on because they're not where they want to be. But they have to realize that they've maybe taken 2 steps towards their goal. They're 2 steps closer, and maybe 2 small steps, but any step in the right direction is a step in the right direction, because you're either going closer to your goals and dreams or further away. And so they have to realize that any step in the right direction is a win.
So what do you offer people? What sort of programs are there? What can you do?
Well, what can we do?
What can you do?
Well, we've done quite a few, plethora of trainings over the years in our financial services business. We have packaged some of them. We have a VIP program that's on our website, buildadreamlife.com, as well as many other different resources. Some of them are just bite-sized programs for people that just want to focus in a certain area. Like I have a wealth bucket training teaching people how to segregate funds, but the VIP program is really the ultimate. We'll walk you through it. We'll bring you the resources. So we are just for our VIP members, we are just unloading a wealth of information for them to have.
Yeah, and the key is if you want to get financially free or have some financial relief, you got to change things, and you got to change your associations. And so one thing that was huge for us was we were in struggle, so our associations were with struggle and people that struggled. And so we hired a coach who had been financially independent for several decades. I mean, coaches were coming out of the woodworks wanting to coach us, and the only question I asked him was, are you financially free? Well, I'm not. I'm like, I'm not interested. So the middle class that struggles around money and wealth, they blow off the importance of associations. And so what this VIP club is, and it's not just us. I mean, we're bringing in, you know, our team of what we consider to be world-class associations. You're able to you know, connect with those people and start to think the way they think, because nothing changes until this changes and your thinking changes. And so that is a world-class resource with incredible associations, and then once you start thinking the way they do, then your results start changing. So world-class people know how important associations are. People that struggle kind of blow that off.
Now, this isn't just for entrepreneurs, is it? This can be for just everyday people who need some help, the whole gamut. Who would you identify as someone who could benefit from this?
Well, I mean, one of my favorite quotes is, you don't have to be sick to get better. Right? I think people that are like of a growth mindset, it doesn't have to be an entrepreneur, it could be, you know, a W-2 employee, or, you know, someone that just, it doesn't really matter. It's going to be a growth resource. So we've made it broad enough that whoever wants to get better and
anyone,
grow.
Anyone that wants more abundance, more wealth, whatever that might be, whether it's money or better relationships, improving themselves, it could be pretty much anyone.
There's just a lot of really inspirational information here. What's your takeaway for people who are listening to this today? What little nugget do you want them just to remember and just to hold in their heart as they...
Well, I really would want everyone that's watching this video to know that we've been there. No matter how frustrated or how much someone is struggling, we have absolutely been there, and we feel like we have the secret sauce of how to get out of it, because we've done it. We know what it feels like, we know what it tastes like along the way, and we're really excited about sharing this with people because we want to help improve the quality of people's lives, and we know it's possible. And we're speaking from experience, and just want people to trust the path that we can take them down if they're really open for a positive change in their life.
Chris?
It's possible. I mean, you can do it. Everyone's got it inside of them. So it's not like we're something. If you really know us, you'd be like, they're not that special, right? I mean, it just.
Well, I am.
I mean, she is. But it's just totally possible. But you need someone that's, you know, kind of walked through that minefield and just follow the footsteps, you know, and you need that coaching and mentoring. So if you got will and desire and you want to get better, then, you know, find the right coaching and find the right program, which we obviously believe we have, and follow it.